Welcome to the virtual commemoration of the 76th anniversary of the Battle of Bessang Pass, recognized as one of the bloodiest battles during the Second World War. Here to give his message on this very historical day is the PVAW Administrator, Undersecretary Ernesto G. Carolina.
Naimbag nga bigat kada kayo amin. I'm honored to join you today, especially the people of Ilocos Sur, as we commemorate the 76th anniversary of one of the most significant victories during the Second World War, the Battle of Bessang Pass. The Battle of Bessang Pass in Cervantes, Ilocos Sur was a major battle fought between the combined Filipino and American forces against the Japanese Imperial Army from 8 January to 14 June 1945. As the last stronghold of General Tomoyuki Yamashita, Bessang Pass was heavily fortified by the Japanese forces that belonged to the Tora or Tiger Division of Lieutenant General Yoshiharu Osaki. Nevertheless, the 5 infantry regiments of the United States Army Forces in the Philippines, Northern Luzon, or USAFIP NL, composed of the 121st, the 15th, 66th, 11th and 14th regiments worked together to recapture Bessang Pass, as it would pave the way to the entrapment of General Yamashita. A total number of 20,000 men from the combined USAFIP, NL, and guerrilla forces had participated in this major battle, setting a sort of historical record. Notably, apart from the surprise attacks launched by the enemy, our defenders also faced tough and intense environmental conditions. The terrain was made even more difficult by the knee-deep mud and impassable roads due to landslides brought about by the rainy weather. Most of them were also afflicted with dysentery, diarrhea, blood-sucking leeches, and malaria. Regardless, our Filipino freedom fighters pressed on. The final assault on Bessang Pass, led by the unit of Captain Emilio Narcise, lasted for 14 days. Finally, on 14 June 1945, after hours of gunfire and series of attacks, the 121st Regiment brought the historic battle to a triumphant conclusion. A symbolic flag made from a dirty-faced towel was planted on the ground. It was a victory flag signaling the defeat of the invaders. Despite the grueling situation our Filipino veterans went through during the 4-month battle, they have shown great courage and unswerving determination and perseverance. These are the same attributes which I urge everyone to emulate as we continue to confront the global health crisis that has changed and adversely affected our way of life. During this critical time, may the memories and the many valuable lessons derived from the past be our guide as we write the new pages of our history. Let us be reminded of the valor and heroism our veterans have exemplified in the face of adversity, so that we, too, shall be victorious in our battle against the COVID-19. To our veterans, rest assured that we shall preserve and continue to defend the democracy that you have fiercely fought for. You have already done your part at the Bessang Pass and many other battlefields 76 years ago. It behooves us to do our share of upholding the peace and freedom you have bequeathed us, no matter what the nature of our enemy may be. Thank you. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. And once again, a pleasant day to everyone. Mabuhay ang mga veterano, mabuhay ang bansang Pilipinas, mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Yusek. This time, let us welcome the National Historical Commission of the Philippines Executive Director, Mr. Restituto Aguilar, to give us the synopsis of the battle. An audiovisual presentation of the battle will then follow after.
The Battle of Bessang Pass was a major engagement fought between the combined Filipino and American forces against the Japanese troops from January 8 to June 14 of 1945. 5 infantry regiments of the USFIP-NL, composed of the 11th, 14th, 15th, 66, and 121st, fought together to recapture Bessang Pass from the hands of the Japanese occupation forces. Over 20,000 Allied troops battled their way to the winding road towards the pass, recovering inch by inch of the major artery deep into enemy defense position, setting a very bloody record in a war of attrition. Meanwhile, 4,000 Japanese soldiers belonging to the Tora, or Tiger Division of Lieutenant General Yoshiharu Osaku, fought under the overall command of General Tomoyuki Yamashita, stubbornly defended the pass from a commanding ground of interlocking defense position, making the Allied attack extremely difficult. On the latter part of May, an order to recapture the Bessang Pass by June 15 was issued. On their way to the pass, the Allied convoys were attacked and ambushed by the Japanese in different outpost lines of resistance in Northern Luzon, particularly in La Union, Ilocos Sur, Ilocos Norte, Abra, Mountain Province, Nueva Vizcaya, Isabela, and Cagayan. These ambuscades, however, only delayed but did not hamper the determination of the Allied forces to recapture Bessang Pass. The final assault on Bessang Pass was led by the unit of Captain Emilio Narcise, lasted from June 1st to 14 of 1945. The Allied forces, spearheaded by the guerrillas, significantly weakened the enemy defensive position through sustained close air support, artillery fire, and infantry assaults. Finally, after hours of heavy gunfire and persistent attacks, the Allied forces recaptured Bessang Pass and Cervantes on June 14, 1945. The victory on Bessang Pass signaled the gradual fall of the Japanese Imperial Army's reign in the Philippines, as the recapture of the pass paved the way towards the collapse of the Japanese final defense line.
Let us also welcome VFP Region 1 President Veteran Ruben S. Magsi Sr. for his message.
Veterans Federation of the Philippines. Good morning, Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, the Battle of Bessang Pass is already over. 76 years ago, from June 14, 1945 to June 14, 2021. However, in my area of operation, responsibility every time I visited World War II and retirees, veterans, very old ages, hearing their voice, looking at their eyes, crying, asking me what benefit the government and the Veterans Federation of the Philippines could give to the bedridden World War II and retirees veterans, I quote. So thereby I feel their sentiment to answer. I just told them that I am here to inform benefits alive, dead veterans. But before that, we had to celebrate the Battle of Bessang Pass to awaken our children about patriotism, their hardship, their sacrifices, their hard death, no compensation before. So, World War II and retirees is asking for increase of benefits. Number one, old age pension, PIBAW 20,000 monthly. Old age BFP pension 6,700 pesos monthly. The healthcare hospitalization 10,000. BFP awake assistant 10,000. BFP Centennial 100 years 50,000. Scholarship BFP and PIBAW. BFP BMMC Veterans Memorial Medical Center refundable if you hospitalized in private. Ongoing discussion of Executive Board BFP World War II veterans 94 to 95 years old cash gift. I hope this will be approved by our next BFP Executive Board meeting online. So, I am calling all World War II pensioners, retirees, PIBAW pensioners are not yet members of BP. Join, enroll now before it's too late. Thank you very much.
Let me start by congratulating our valiant veterans of the Battle of Bessang Pass on this historic day of June 14 as we commemorate the 76th anniversary of our victory over the last stronghold of Japanese Imperial forces. This historic battle that took place in the treacherous mountain slope of Cervantes has sealed the fate of the foreign conquerors and paved the way for the liberation of the northern part of the country. It is rather unfortunate that there is no mention yet of this battle in the Philippine history taught to our young people. That is why the historical and cultural impact of this commemoration is highly significant. I thank the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office for initiating this virtual commemoration as a memorial and a means to promulgate the heroic deeds of our veterans. In the midst of the challenges that the global pandemic of COVID-19 has posed on our nation. The price our forefathers paid for freedom was very high. For some, it cost them their lives. Their patriotism allowed us to enjoy life as we know it. Today, we pay tribute to our Battle of Bessang Pass heroes, all 3,400 of them who risked their lives for freedom. They were ordinary people like you and me, but had extraordinary courage and valor. They too had families and dreams, which they willingly gave up in order that our families and dreams may be protected. We salute them for their selflessness and for showing us the true Filipino spirit of love for country. Among the many ways by which we can honor them is to emulate their example, to not hesitate to rise up to the call when needed to. In these times, we face a bigger enemy, one that is not seen and yet has already compromised our freedom. And the only way to defeat it is if we all cooperate with the call to get vaccinated. We need to get vaccinated to protect ourselves. We need to get vaccinated to protect those who cannot be vaccinated. We need to get vaccinated to achieve herd immunity. We need herd immunity for the economy to get moving again. We need the economy to get moving to ensure that every household can eat on time and for programs to be implemented. We can all be heroes in our own little ways. If each of us looks out for the needs and interests of the others, then we create an unbreakable chain of heroic acts that will propel our country to greatness. To our veterans, we thank you for your heroism. Thank you for showing us love that transcends the mundane things and surpasses time. Thank you for inspiring us and our future generations. We salute you.
And that concludes our virtual commemoration of the 76th anniversary of the Battle of Bessang Pass. I am Felicia Lois Lanya. Thank you very much for joining us.